We're going to dive back into domestic politics because we've got big changes. We got big stuff going on in New Jersey. I want to dive out. Let's check this out. Play a little clip here between Chitterelli and Cheryl, but we're going to dive into what's happening in New Jersey in the gubernatorial race. Again, before we do, like, comment, and subscribe. Let's dive into this.
It doesn't matter because I'm going to make sure that he doesn't get to serve again when I win for governor in November of this year.
There's another big difference between her public service and my public service. It actually cost me money the time I put in and took away from my company. In the 7 years that she's been in Congress, she's tripled her net worth. There's another big difference between the two of us, okay? She broke the law. She had to pay fines for violating federal law on stock trades and stock reporting, and the New York Times reports that while you're sitting on the House Armed Services Committee, you were trading defense stocks.
Wow. This was part of the debate between Chitterelli and Cheryl. We're going to go into other clips from this debate, but this was absolute bombshell stuff. This was Chitterelli putting her right in the crosshairs of public opinion that says, yeah, remember all the corruption that's out there that people are sick of, the insider trading that people are sick of? Not only did she have to pay fines, not only did she triple her net worth illegally, but now we know that she's also sitting on the Armed Services Committee trading defense stocks, knowing exactly what they're voting for. This is the ultimate in insider trading. This is what basically 90% of Congress, of senators and representatives need to get investigated for and prosecuted. This is absolutely amazing. And this is what people don't want. Now, as we dive into this, we've got a lot of polls out there that say this is right within striking distance, that this could actually happen. You've got Chitterelli and Cheryl in a 43-43 dead heat. Now, when you look at other places like Real Clear Politics, the average of all of the polls out there, which we know that most of them are extremely left-leaning, you're still getting Cheryl up between 2 and 4 points. So this is one poll that shows it at a dead heat. You've got 3 others that show it in a statistical dead heat. But still, the fact that they are this close on the New Jersey governor means it's within striking distance. And this is the time to act. If we can flip New Jersey, if we can start to poke holes in the Northeast blue curtain, the blue wall that was never going anywhere, we could start to seriously affect U.S. politics downstream. Now, I want to dive back into some more clips from the debate. But first, let's jump in with Benny Johnson, who is going to be with Chitterelli I believe on the 10th, tomorrow, for a rally, as he's talking about this same governor's race. Here we go.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And Jack can win. He's a great guy, as you know. He's a common sense. The reason I won, I believe the reason the President Trump won, but certainly the reason I won, and I think the reason Jack can win, is common sense. Common sense. Listen, whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent, you don't want 4,000 Pennsylvanians dying last year from fentanyl because of wide open borders. You don't want 20% inflation, which is killing. I had somebody in my office today who's on Social Security. She's still dealing with the horrible challenge. If you're on fixed income and prices are up 20%, right? They don't want disorder on the city streets. You walk through Philadelphia these days, and we was just in Kensington last week.
Goodness.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And Trump ran on common sense policies to fix those problems, and he's delivering on those. And so you can, in places like Pennsylvania, man, they just want people going to solve problems. And they look at President Trump and say, holy cow, there's a guy who actually made promises and is delivering on them. And that's, I think, the mantra for winning here. I can't speak for other states, but we just want to solve problems. We want to work with anybody we need to solve the problems. And the president is leading the charge on that. And, I'm proud to support those.
So absolutely, Chitterelli can win. That's what we're talking about here. Now, I want to check out a couple more clips from this debate because Chitterelli absolutely cooks Cheryl in several different cases. He sets up the distinction between himself and this ridiculous, globalist, corruptocrat, elitist establishment politician. Check this out.
Since the time that the Congresswoman is declared for governor, she's missed 90% of the votes in Washington. But a few Fridays ago, she skipped out of 2 very important joint appearances in New Jersey to get to Washington, D.C. to vote yes on the Charlie Kirk resolution celebrating his life. I applaud her yes on that vote. When she came back to New Jersey and caught hell from the left, she issued a statement condemning Charlie Kirk, calling him a misogynist and a racist. The two things are inconsistent to me. The way to tamp down the hateful rhetoric is by having the right kind of leadership in place. I've always conducted myself in a respectful way, even when I disagree with people. I'm never going to tarnish the name my parents gave me, and I'm never going to embarrass my 4 children. I've always been respectful with my rhetoric, and I think that that's more important than ever.
So you got Cheryl out there running down Charlie Kirk while she runs back to post a vote for the Charlie Kirk resolution. So she can say, I voted for the Charlie Kirk resolution. Then she comes back to Jersey and basically trashes him. This is your typical Democrat politician. This is exactly who they are. It's all show. It's all hat, no cattle. They'll do everything for the photo op, but when it comes to actual policy, when it comes to actual belief, they are on the wrong side of every issue. Speaking about being on the wrong side of every issue, let's talk about schools and school choice in New Jersey. This is a major issue for poor neighborhoods, for minority communities, especially for Black Americans. Check out Chitterelli on his education proposal, and then we're going to dive into just how radical Cheryl is. Check this out.
I, too, am very, very concerned about the public education system. We've got school districts where 80% of the kids are not on grade level for reading, writing, and math. Who has school choice? People with money. People with money can send their kids to private school. People without money do not have school choice. So if their school system is failing, I will provide them choice. My opponent will not. Voucher system like we've seen in Arizona, Ohio, and Florida. Charter schools, they've been very successful here in New Jersey, but only one has been approved in 8 years' time. We need to provide educational choice where districts are failing, and we need to employ a high-impact curriculum like we've seen in places like Louisiana and Mississippi. A high-impact curriculum, if your child is behind grade level in reading, writing, math, they'll spend the entire next marking period doing nothing other than reading, writing, and math.
100%. School voucher programs, school choice. Time to dismantle the education monopoly, liberal education complex, the socialist education indoctrination program that is funded by U.S. taxpayer money, both federal and state, throughout the United States. It's time to start dismantling that with vouchers. Vouchers everywhere. You can send your kid to whatever school you want. Let the schools compete for your business. That is exactly what needs to happen. Cheryl is never going to do that. She's never going to allow school choice. She is beholden to the teachers' unions 100%. But even worse than that, check out her position on schools and LGBTQ and other issues. It's the school vouchers, it's her corruption, her insider trading, and her focus on this that I think could cost her the election. Check this out.
Parents have the right to opt their kids out of LGBTQ-related content in the same way that right now they can be removed from sex ed and health curriculum classes.
Look, I believe that parents have the right to oversee their children's education. I would push in LGBTQ education into our schools. Parents have a right to opt out of a lot of things, but this is not an area where they should be opting out, because this is an area of understanding the background of people throughout our nation. And right now we see, for example, at the Naval Academy, an erasure of history.
So what she just said there was, oh, no. We're going to have an LGBTQ agenda shoved into our schools, and parents will not be able to opt out of that. They will be forced, their children will be forced to read sexually explicit material. Their children will be forced to get taught, even at first, second, third grade, about trans and trans stuff. This is stuff they have no concept of, and should not even be introduced to at those ages. This is Cheryl's plan. She is going to shove LGBTQ down people's throats. They will not be able to opt out. There will be no school choice. She will continue her insider trading corruption. She'll use this. She tripled her net worth as in Congress. She'll probably quintuple it as governor, because it'll just be another giant grift. This is the dichotomy. This is the distinction that Chitterelli has set up between himself and Cheryl, and it is a winning formula. The question is, can he garner enough of the votes in New Jersey? Right now, the parties, when you look at the polls, the parties are breaking along party lines, 90-10, 92-8, you name it, for both of them. So Cheryl's getting 92% plus of the Democrat vote. Chitterelli's getting 92% plus of the Republican vote. But right now, Chitterelli is winning independents by 13 points. If he can swing that to 15 or 16 points, he's got a serious shot of making this happen. And one of the people that's going to help deliver it, if it does happen, is Scott Presler. Let's check in with Scott Presler as he talks about this New Jersey race because it is close.
From what we're seeing on the ground, this is a state that went double digits for Joe Biden and went within 5 percentage points for President Donald Trump. And in Passaic County, we are seeing the beautiful Hispanic community come over to the Republican Party in a way that we haven't seen before. We are courting minority communities, and that's why Mikey cheating scandal Cheryl is so scared. All right, let's be real. Lockdown Phil Murphy is the reason why so many people are now joining the Republican Party. And I have a message for the viewer at home. If you want to ban offshore wind, vote Jack Ciattarelli. If you want to bring down property taxes, vote Jack Ciattarelli. If you want to bring down electricity prices, vote Jack Ciattarelli. If you want school choice, vote Jack Ciattarelli. This is your candidate. We are no longer going to bow down to the Democrats in Trenton. And this is time for the people in New Jersey to take back your state, and I ask for your vote on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025 for Jack Ciattarelli for governor. I'm not going to go into hypothetical. I'm going to go into 2021 was decided by 84,000 votes, 600,000 Republicans stayed home, 250,000 New Jersey gun owners are not registered to vote. You go to nj.gov. The last day to register to vote is on October 14th, Charlie Kirk's birthday. Honor Charlie Kirk by registering to vote, nj.gov. You make a plan to vote on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. Game on.
And this is Scott Presler. This is the same guy who is essentially single-handedly with his organization flipped Pennsylvania from a 1 million vote advantage for the Democrats in terms of voter registrations. The Democrats were plus 1 million. He has now flipped it. They are within 52,000 voter registrations of being completely equal, of the Republicans actually having a voter registration advantage. He's doing something similar in New Jersey. He has been in New Jersey working overtime. They were able to bring down the margin of victory in New Jersey between Biden, between 2020 and 2024 by 5 to 6 points, a 5 to 6 point swing. Now they're talking about this governor's race where there is an extremely dislikable candidate in Mikey Sherrill. Insider trading, corruption, Mikey Sherrill. LGBTQ down your throat, Mikey Sherrill. No school choice, Mikey Sherrill. There is a clear distinction, and New Jersey has an opportunity to send a message to the rest of America that the entire country is red shifting. And this would be a fantastic win. So kudos to Scott Presler. Let us know what you think in the comments. Really appreciate everybody rolling up. Thanks for being here. Remember that God is good and he is sovereign. It'll always be good in the end. If it's not yet good, it's not yet the end. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know how we're doing. Share Courageous Media with everybody that you know. Hope you have a fantastic Thursday.